Then, what I think is one of the most remarkable aspects of this program, all of us have spent time gathering extra material for review, for reinforcement. And whether it's the old Mimeo days, like for me, or Xerox, or handwriting them, or putting them on the board, it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. Well, that's something we don't have to do anymore with Sound Innovations, because now, at the end of each level of those 6 levels we talked about, you can add as many reinforcement pages, what we call enrichment pages, as you would like. Here are a couple of examples: sound history, sound assessment, innovative theory and composition. You see them all spelled out for you here. And this is this listicle. You can have technique and rhythm pages. You can have tunes, whole pages of tunes. History, theory, composition, improvisation, duets and ensemble, assessment pages, full assessment pages in addition to the little one we had for you. Scales, finger twisters for the strings, manuscript paper for you to write things, anything along that line. And the beautiful part is here, you don't have to make a decision to be bound to for the whole book. So for example, you may say after level 1, I want a page of tunes. I want my kids to just celebrate knowing tunes. After level 2, I want a thing of rhythm, I want a thing of ensembles, and I want another page of tunes. After level 3, I want a theory page, and I want a manuscript page. And you can have as many or as few of whichever ones you want at each of the places in the book. But here's the most important part. Remember when I talked earlier about the burnout factor? Here's a place for the students to celebrate what they already have learned and to feel accomplished, because nothing in any of those enrichment pages is new material. It's all things the students know, so they can enjoy, because none of us became musicians because of the learning of the new things. We became musicians from enjoying what we already knew. So this gives them an opportunity to do that and lessen that burnout. And then your book's saved. Each year you can make changes, and you can make changes at any time, big ones or small changes. The beautiful thing is, every year we're going to be listening to teachers and adding more opportunities to customize. So for example, here are a few things we're working on for the future. There's a lovely welcome letter in the beginning, which the author team wrote. It's a very nice letter, but we like the idea of it being a letter from you. So in the future, you're going to be able to go on here, take this out, and put anything you want. You can put a calendar in, a grading rubric. You can put in a letter that you wrote, or the Friends of Music, or the Orchestra Boosters, or your principal. It doesn't matter. It's going to be yours. And then the next one we're working on is really neat. If there's ever a war among music teachers, I'm pretty convinced it's going to be about letter names in the noteheads. People either seem to love them or hate them. So the customization here will be as follows. You come up here, no or yes. You click no, they vanish. Your students will never see a letter name in a notehead. If you click yes, it gives you an example of what it looks like, and then this menu drops down and you can choose how many pages you'll have, from 1 to 8. I found as I traveled around the country, many teachers told us, I like the idea, but I only want 1 page, because after that it becomes too much of a crutch. I've had other teachers say, I'd like it for 8 pages. I've had other teachers say, I don't want it. And for the first time in history, you'll be able to customize how much of that you want. The next one we're working on is changing the counting system. As I said, we really like the numbers with subdivisions, and that's what most teachers told us they wanted. But for example, my early background is a Claudette person. If you're a Claudette person, you might want French time name syllables of Taz and Titis, or Frosteth-Gordon syllables, or maybe you want a line for the students to write in their own counting system. Maybe you don't want any counting system. Perfect. You click a button, and the book will change before your very eyes. The beautiful thing about Sound Innovations customizability is that in the old days, before Sound Innovations, if there were 3 teachers, 3 different elementary schools, we'd have to usually agree on a book. And that wasn't the easiest thing to do. Now you don't have to, because with Sound Innovations, each teacher can customize exactly what they want, knowing that at the end of the book, all of the students have matched the same goals and are ready to move on to the next book, the next teacher, the next school at the same level, no matter what choices you made. So you may want whole notes with hot cross buns and these enrichment pages. Someone else might want quarter notes and different starting pitch and different tunes. The students will still reach the same goals. If you wish to, and you have homogeneous grouping, you can customize every single book to be different. Private teachers love that idea, and many people have adopted this because they like the idea of having one book that all their students work from, and it could be Mr. Jones' horn book, and that's the one that Mr. Jones gives to all of his students. Knowing the most important thing is that no matter what you customize, all of the media matches. Again, smart music, the teacher's score, the book, the CD, the DVD, it's all integrated and everything matches perfectly. Now this isn't something where you get a PDF download and you have to print it and staple it and magic marker the title on. That's not the way this is. The book comes to you looking just like the sample book we hope you have in your hands, and that is perfectly bound with the CD and the DVD mounted in just like every other method book. Fact is, your students won't know it's any different than any other, except it has the name of their school right on the cover, and it's the book their teacher designed. Everyone always wonders about the price. and it's a good, important question. The standard edition is matching most every other method book out there, and that's $8.99. Except it does, as Bob said earlier, come with that full-length DVD and all of the recorded examples. And ours is as well, and as I mentioned, the Horn & Noble book is exactly the same price at $8.99. For the customized version, there are 3 Director's Choice pricings. The basic level of customization, which includes personalizing the cover, the arco pitch decision, the ascending or descending pitch, choosing starting note, and all of the non-copywritten tune changes that you want to manage. And for the band version, that first level is the customization of the starting pitch, the cover, all of those things we talked about. It's exactly the same price, including the DVD and CD. Exactly the same price of $8.99. If you add $2 more, and we go to what we call Tier 2, you get all of that customization, all of the things that come with Sound Innovations, and for that $2, you get to have as many copywritten tunes as you like. Obviously, those royalties have to be passed on to the composers. As well as the copywritten tunes, you get to add as many as 12 enrichment pages for your book. My favorite level is level 3, and many teachers have told us that's their favorite as well. For only $2 more than that, you get all of the customization we talked about, as many copywritten tunes as you want, and up to 32 more pages of enrichment. That's an 80-page method book for $12.99. I know students who have had teachers make them buy 3 books. And I think that's a very sound thing. When I did, I had students buy mini books. But they only used a little bit of each book, and it ends up costing a lot of money. You buy 3 method books, you're probably going to spend $27. And then have the students only use a little bit. Now, with Sound Innovations Tier 3, you can get 80 pages of material for $12.99, including that DVD and the CD. And the coolest thing to me is the fact that, remember, every line in the book is recorded. So if you add 32 more pages, they're recorded on the CD as well. Book 2 is what we're so excited about talking about at this point, and it's for 2 revolutionary ideas in it. Book 2 of Sound Innovations looks very different than other Book 2s. Many teachers told us we don't use a Book 2. Statistically, most teachers don't. And we said, why? Tell us what you want in a Book 2 that's different. Well, most Book 2s were written in what's called in flow, like a Book 1. You learn a new note, then a new meter, then a new rhythm, then a new term, then a new style. And it's done in flow. It's a wonderful way for Book 1s to be generated. Book 2's teachers told us they don't want that way. They're so oriented at that point to working on performance music that they wanted to have the ability to isolate concepts easily. So now the beginning of Book 1 is a review, so that no matter what method book anyone's been using, they can then be reviewed of the material that they would have in a Book 1, and then move on to Book 2, where we've isolated rhythms and meters with no other new concepts. Isolated then in the next level, new pitches, new pitch centers. And when they're learning these new keys, they don't have to worry about learning new rhythms. We've isolated them as well. And then the rest of the book integrates all of those. And the other completely revolutionary idea in Sound Innovations Book 2 is a remarkable DVD. Teachers told us that they wanted Book 1 to make their students good players. Book 2 needs to get them to be better players, but also needs to help them on their journey to become ensemble musicians, and to really help teach them how to be members of the orchestra and teach them how to be members of the band. To help them do that, our DVD was filmed with the entire string quartet, the woodwind family and the brass family. So it teaches them concepts of playing, but in addition we go on to how to tune with players next to you. Intonation, balance, blend, phrasing, ensemble articulation, listening from the accompaniment and the melody, foreground and background, all of the ensemble skills, a whole section on what the conductor is doing, and to mark your parts and how to put your stand in the right place, and all of the concepts that a conductor's trying to give, with opportunities for the students to hear good and bad, side by side with remarkable professional players. So they really understand things like playing so loud that we can't control the volume, because we demonstrated it. Playing so soft that the sound is unsupported, because it's demonstrated. And then giving them wonderful models of these. And we're real excited about that. Please don't think for a second that this is some direct marketing where we're trying to cut out the dealers. The dealers have been our wonderful friend in all of this, and they're the lifeblood of what we do. And because of that, Alfred is committed to making sure that our dealers are as excited about this as we are, and they are. There's a series of authorized dealers that you can go to, your favorite dealer, and what you can do when you order the customized version is you can click My Dealer, and then all the proceeds go just like they normally would. You can click up to as many as 5. Maybe you have 4 or 5 music dealers that you work with. All of them can share in those revenues. But even if you don't, you may come from a school district where you're not allowed to specify a dealer. That's fine, put no preference. And then what happens is at the end of the year, all of the dealers in the country who are authorized become a pool, and then all of those royalties are then sent to them. all of those revenues. So don't think for a minute that they're not in this. There are partners in this, and we're wonderfully excited about that. So you can see why we are so excited about Sound Innovations. You can take the standard edition right off the shelf at your favorite dealer and use it and hopefully enjoy all of those things teachers helped us realize that they wanted in method books. Or you can choose the Revolutionary Director's Choice Edition. But know throughout this you're going to have instrument-specific accompaniments, recordings of every line in the book on one CD so that all of the line numbers match the track numbers, the ability in the customized version for optional pop tunes, the incredible masterclass DVDs, CDs, and smart music matching as well. And as I've said at so many sessions I've given, kids can do anything. We just have to teach them how. And I think that Sound Innovations will be the way you'll realize you can do that easier, because it provides you the opportunity to have your control be what the students are going to have in their method book. You're going to get to control and match your philosophy and pedagogy to what the students need to learn. Welcome to the future. Welcome to the next generation of method books. Welcome to Sound Innovations from Alfred Music Publishing.